So one of the really cool things that we're trying to do at UCF overall is to get more students engaging in study abroad. And so at the Nicholson School of Communication, we have been trying to expand. And actually a couple years ago, there was a small opportunity for faculty who were interested in doing that to pursue it. And I said, oh, I think this seems like a cool thing to do. I think our students would really enjoy it. We didn't have a ton of students studying abroad in the Nicholson School, so that's why I got involved.
I think short-term study abroad trips are really valuable for students because it's a little more accessible, especially for our population here at UCF. It can be really difficult if you're working a lot or full-time or have other kinds of obligations to spend a month or an entire semester, and it also saves a little bit on cost to be able to do it in a quicker way. So I was just really hoping that it would help get students to have an experience they wouldn't otherwise have access to.
Yeah, this actually would be my first time to lead study abroad. Dr. Sandoval led actually a lot of corporate trainings abroad for years, so she's had the experience doing that. And I'm really looking forward to, I've taught persuasion dozens of times at UCF and at other places, and I just think it would be a really cool thing to bring our students to have that practical hands-on experience in another culture.
Ecuador and the Galapagos have a lot of really unique things. It's a really nice mixture of a rich cultural environment that combines urban, city, as well as historical areas, and also some really cool environmental spaces that students can apply a lot of different topics to. So there's a really wide range of communication concepts that we can explore, and it's a diversity of experiences in a place that I think sometimes gets ignored. When we think about study abroad, we tend to think about taking students to Europe or maybe even Asia, but going a little bit closer to Florida, spending time in Central and South America, I think is really what we should be doing a lot more here at UCF.
I think it's just the hands-on kind of application. So really, when you take my persuasion class, it's a normal semester here at UCF, I ask you to apply those skills that you learn and those principles that you learn in your everyday life. And what this does is it really kind of stretches students to pursue those avenues in a new cultural context. I just think that's an amazing thing for students to have the opportunity to do.
As somebody who teaches intercultural communication and is really interested in helping students be most effective communicating across difference, I think being in a different location, even though Florida itself and Orlando are incredibly diverse and also a really good site to apply a lot of the things we talk about, that going a little further outside of students' comfort zones will give us even more opportunity to talk about even larger issues about communicating globally and thinking about ethical issues related to travel and communicating with people in places that we're not familiar with, and how to really be a more responsible and considerate global citizen.
So one of the things is that if you take my class, I see you for about an hour and 15 minutes twice a week. If you take my study abroad, we're going to spend a lot more time together. And it's not just going to be lecture time. It's going to be having these experiences, a lot more discussion, a lot of a closer dynamic with your professors. So I think finding professors that you want to have that experience with is really important, because I can imagine there are people out there who I would be like, oh, I would really love to spend this time learning from this person and having this experience and traveling around the world, and then other people who I might be like, oof, maybe not as much.
I think a short-term experience has a lot of advantages, but primarily it is that it's going to be more accessible for a lot of people. I know when I was in school, I worked full-time, and it was really difficult for me to think about being away from my job or quitting my job for an entire semester, and also the cost of that was pretty prohibitive for me when I was in school, so I didn't participate in any study abroad. So hopefully the primary advantages for students is that the cost will be a little bit less than going somewhere for a whole semester, and it gives them an experience that they wouldn't have otherwise that still keeps them connected back home. They're not gone as long. Hopefully they could keep any jobs that they're engaged in education or any other responsibilities they might have with their families?
Yeah, that's a great question, actually. So we have so many great study abroad semester-long programs where you can go to places like Austria, or you can go to Spain, and those are those really longer-term immersive things. But the reality is not everyone has the ability to do that because of either financial, work, family reasons, or just their degree program. It just kind of doesn't allow for that flexibility. So for me, a short-term experience gives our students who, maybe might be able to take 2 weeks off of work, but can't necessarily take a whole semester away from their work, to have that opportunity on a shorter timeline.